our studio. Eric, boko there.
Nyamiadum, Obi.
Ekoye.
Nyamiadum, you hear pa. Na also. You share ya che.
Enye easy.
Bo frame me ba ha che.
Ache.
Money my akana.
Oh, that be a day. In here say opese Ujinas national organizer for the NPP. Yenim say we NPP ni mapa. What hold any executive position there in the party? Like why officer of the party there?
Yes. Now me first vice chairman ewo Trobu constituency.
Oh, really?
Yes. In the
Trobo
year
Amasaman.
Yes, in 2013. Almost 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. Wow. Me name that I never knew.
You know, Shas Yache.
Oh, okay.
You know, Yaye Juma.
Okay.
Ewo constituency mo.
Yeah.
And yes, Yaye Juma on national level also.
And now you want to go for the national organizer position.
Exactly, yes.
As far as the NPP is concerned, national organizer ni role day. Ejuma be national organizer
Well, Obi me that say, say the dika no, be the nchia kese ebe ma omomutie asempa ene ewie yi na say enye Ghana nko a na no na me amanonu baby.
Okay.
Na me do baby na Ghana shop bi.
Oh, okay.
Na mo bie mu. Na je say enye Ghana nko a. Enti no ebe hye mu nkran so say mo toso a enye adwuma no. Be say democracy ye kan ho asem nya no. So we political party structure. Now we legislature, your finance executive, na judiciary, if you are. So now, Baba media, and you know, baby crowd they all call into proper academic literature. Almost your 4 pillars of democracy.
Yes.
Into the medical and abobono any media. And you know, I'd say yeah partners in the whole democratic. Experiment and enterprise into no be bomb abaso mo yade you see say national organizer there your party no your mra point the year juma which is your constitution no ejuma national organizer so yeah into we dey sabi obebo trim na waka into you be your constitution na show say national organizer no ona you are responsible for recruiting people into the party. You are responsible for the various wings. So you have a say a party in your Nasara, your youth, your women's wing, and at the general, population. And so there's another vital role, which I think that most of the time are very silent, which is the relationship between the national organizer and the director of communications for the party.
Oh, okay.
And I've always maintained that there's a reason why that was put there. Because you cannot organize without communicating. In fact, say, boots on ground, and I say door to door, and I say house to house, and I say market to market, mosque to mosque, church to church. Ujua, semenakoka. And so there's a very integral reason why the communication is extremely important. Say a bepe coin so your structure na ekita from polling station level up to the national level no your bema communication no obroni be percolate
yes
say a form na say ebia infan say una what na trotro mu na say obi kan party no asema we your polling station executive ote party no ne so ade ho. And I said the Ekoso ewo man in general na bibia no. That is how you organize a political party. And the Ejuma Yebabe is based on what the constitution says. Your party the constitution eka Ejuma. Of course. Then you have the support of the other national executives in terms of your role, in terms of working together as a team. Because Nipa Bako intimi organize a political party. But one of the things that I've observed over the period, they say, you can't, you can't national organizer. Now I say, Obiafo say a individual.
Yeah.
Now, in fact, they say more asempa. Now more 275 branches, more 16 zonal offices, more foreign branches. Obviously, nipa ba ko beti me organize. No, so it's a structure. And a structure, no, so no, your constitution, no, I should share my end that. And you know, say, if you diso prepare, it shouldn't be difficult. Nipa na oda no. Nejuma ne say be obedrin programs ni activities be training of polling station executives, constituency executives, electoral area coordinators, regional executives, national, and volunteers. Our munina no omodom party no moniji party no one se party no edin kunima yeah dia edoma koma so no. So we have the structure to do that. And you know say ye nyina no ye adwen kosi so say ye pese ye breaki 8. And a mantra keke. But the reality is that also breaking 8. You can't continue doing the same things to do that because it's never happened before. And you know, as big a political party to say MPP, you won't be brave, different skill sets, different orientation, different people from different parts of the country with different experiences. You need to inject a new sense of dynamism into the administration of the political, because sebi party no be there, a collective. Wo me we ni obia na we free baby a waba no say yenye party no ye ni so di hu there what the party stands for. In the people studio na per chance one of my friends posted something and na me twi madre enko so your symbol no cry ye elephant no cry, it stands for a reason. The reason is that it's the elephant, which is the biggest land animal in the world, stands for big ideas, stands for commitment, stands for bringing on board new ideas. You say a tree for cry can be say to try or snow and nama and nambia will movie. You understand? So there's a certain symbolism to even the elephant as a symbol for the party, and then your colors. Blood, which is red, and then your forefathers are omo J party in see ho. It predates the MPP as a political party. Sometimes back in history, sometimes you start here. Oman Penny Akufo-Addo na say anytime biano so can party no infitias. I name it there because sometimes it goes as far back in the 18th century. What do I say? In terms of people who put their lives down to fight for the independence of this country, believing in a liberal democracy environment, and all of those people put their lives down for baby and say party no any war your color no white, which stands for purity of thoughts. Say kebia me na me no party ba kumuna ebia o aha na me so mo ha no just say entokwa. Nemomono, your dream chair say, BBIA is based on a certain commitment for the total development of this country, Ghana. And a blue no stands for peace. You know, and all these are important things that even with your party, Babiana, what's the true meaning of these things and what the MPP stands for. And so, my dear, my to say, Obia made me who for you. Ama your party, the MPP.
I love the bit our cast for you to be able to break the 8. The moon to me and yet the same things.
Exactly.
And expect to break the 8. By that, do you mean, sir, muhia introduction of fresh ideas and answer fresh people, meaning, sir, the people there currently managing the party, at least the organizational leg of the party, omu infri fresh people, Emra and
it can be a combination of the two.
Okay.
Fresh ideas, fresh people, an injection of dynamism, new ways of thinking, and sometimes even the personality. Because in any idea politics are and I think sometimes I'll tell you something funny. One of the things that I've heard on the field, they say, "Oh, Eric, are you too gentle onto me a national organizer?" And I find that as a disrespect to even the people who have been national organizers in the past. Because it's a very intellectual, let's assume that we interview. Sometimes you call professors, doctors, lecturers, taxi drivers, trotro drivers. You were talking to a fellow media person, you know, and all these people have votes. and they vote. And in a political conversation, there's two things: push and pull. And to push, then ABR to say the we are selling the parties, ideas, achievement, or what we have done, what we stand for, and all that. And the other one is what Ghanaians are looking at, which is a pull factor.
The pull factor.
So the people that we represent, the things that we say, how we do it, the posturing to the public, also attracts votes. And so you can't have it one way. And when it comes to communication and all of this, it is strategic. It's a long-term thing. Say, this is how, for the New Patriotic Party, we want Ghanaians to perceive us. So this is how we conduct ourselves. Yeah, to a bar, rules and regulations, obey this. Yeah, to we are, mechanisms that they are in place to ensure, say, obey on tenhuasi and other issues, resolve it, we close rounds, and we prosecute another agenda. Right? And then one of the things, maybe you, as we go along, I'll talk about it. So as far back as 18 years ago, when I did my master's, my thesis topic was on political marketing.
Oh.
And at the time, of course, I didn't even know that I was going to be here. But at the time, there was not even literature on political marketing. But one of the significant things that we are even talking about will be also apathy. Yeah. What is apathy? So in conventional organizations, there's something called post-purchase dissonance. Yeah. What are the and that's what you are doing. That's a different na kakas ade am metoye den and as if you can say come to be before. And there's a strategy for it. What you say? And you track say and everybody tries to coach President Kufuor without the strategy. The President Kufuor also it's better to be a messenger in a government in power. Yes, but there's a strategy behind it. There are things that you have to do to ensure, say, when there's apathy, people's expectations are calibrated. What you say? What you say? And the ever say multi-hire more ton adverti. Then for say business be aba. Also, me person me 3-month media plan. Or 2 years, I say I didn't cry more time. Me board advertising so the entire your sales team or marketing team will not have to be sitting down waiting. And so advert there's so you understand? There has to be a strategy behind it. And we are more good marketers and as communication people are. They will even go to the business and what they do they call immersion. So to understand what the business is, the people that are the key target audience, why is it that they are feeling the way they are feeling, and then you solve the issues. You solve the problems. And it's not just one of those things where it's a shouting match. But you need deep thinkers, critical thinking, and people who have a certain appreciation of how to run things. So they make a note. And also,
because you've eloquently diagnosed problem. My worry, and I believe the worry of many would be, why has your party gotten to the level? It be free, says you be national organizer. It was so you be a or you uja. Because as you said, part that intellectual outlook. It is a module level like before you say that business and you be national organizer probe or baby. Why have you gotten here?
There's no substance to that. I think that is if it would be Samia. I think maybe it's a certain lack of understanding of what a national organizer should do. Ultimately, because you say Kasao radio. If you want to organize a certain political party, even the word organization itself, it's an organization. Yes. What do I say? Yes. And the word organization itself stands for something. It stands for structure. So they make what you say. Into maybe a more accounting department, more marketing department, more sales, more HR. Sometimes when those are the key functional areas. But if in modern business you have an innovation and all of those things, events. So that is an organization that requires thinking. And the good thing about it is that our party has a structure. The wisdom of the people who put the party together in terms of even a constitution has created the things for us. So we shouldn't have any problems. All that it requires is to make sure, say, in Yemana, you debate to a party for no etias. As organizer, you're training your people, consistent training. There's a collaboration between the communications of the party and the organization structure. As far as I'm concerned, a constituency communications director or officer should be the star of that district or constituency. To be honest with you. You understand? Because to say multi hire, I think one of Muna Mobile side, I almost say advertising gets results.
Yes.
And you have a political party. Yeah. And the mouthpiece of that particular political party at the district or constituency level is your communications officer. So you should have all the tools, plus the organizing arm of that particular constituency to go out there and sell the good works of the party. You know, so all of these things are things that, as far as I'm concerned, as time goes along, when we get an opportunity to go and speak to the good delegates of this party, we will present our vision to them.
The point then will be, Michelle, names are so far about up for national organizer now. Of course, apart from you, there is Henry Nanabuache, there is Honorable Daniel Nikwate, Titus Glover, at least Waymoni Mienu Eka Onwa Memitimi Ekai. What sets you apart? And then Ufi say a so clear, it was a party for a share. Say, I have this, the others don't have into your monto, Emma.
Well, I mean, so if you followed my politics for a bit, I don't believe in hostilities when it comes to politics. Okay. So I would sell myself. All these two persons that you've mentioned are people that I have a lot of respect for. But I also feel, say, we've gotten to the point where we need to change and say, because we've all have invested in this party. We've all invested in not just a party, even the whole democratic experiment of this country. Sometimes some people, like I started, and all of those, and just because they believe in a certain cause. And I feel, say, you place now, say, you say Ghana, you tumpon, you koye nima. Not just say a party, no, it's not a bemubium. Now programs, need policies are sometimes it takes a while for that to happen. Now in times past, you know, I see Ghana for the baby in fear what we and that's the issue, because sometimes there's no coherence even in the policy directions. It's way about kakra. Now we are you know, until Abrofukra Mubu baby say a rolling stone gathers no moss. So they make a note say. And for us to do that, then I believe strongly, say, I have all the qualities. Ubisami, say, no, I'm a constituency executive. Party in a constituency. And how we treat constituency executives and their role that they have to play to ensure, say, every single corner of that particular constituency is covered. And everyone say it was 17 executives. And now executives, from chairman now to Deputy Nasara coordinator. Inti no. Also electoral area coordinators. Also polling station executives. Electoral commission, so I not say polling station be 800 on average, and that's about all. Inti no. Juma bia say if you think through it,
and Juma
cry. All that you require is to have the resources, the support, and a certain strategic direction going. Because every constituency is dynamic. What are your key policy directions? And I'm like, yes. I mean, you can do that. But maybe what would pertain in K2 South will not pertain in my constituency, Fanchakwa South, for example, because the dynamics are different. You understand? But you can have maybe a general team that cuts across. But the reality on the ground is that for information to percolate down to the grassroots, for them to understand what the party is doing, and especially say, what Ben will say, the relationship between the government and the party. There's always a certain thing line, and sometimes people have a view, say, abandon a party, and as a party in the abandon, we need to be able to communicate that, bring our people along. Those people who, for one reason or the other, feel say, Bemu na Eja almost see a tree and I say they are not part of the process and everything. There are ways of going around that. But the reality on the ground is that you have to have a system that is fair. And sometimes we don't like to talk about that, but that is the case. Into the ABI, your party in the young Casayadi in Shayatu Aquemus ABI, we need the primaries now. Near the modalities now, at to say, when I say we are not qualified as a member of parliamentary candidate. Let's stick by it. When you have issues where at the ABI, these rules are applied, and you apply that, then people become disquiet. Politics sometimes you disobey political parties and I say even the parties. Sometimes it's not the case. I'm using my constituency as an example. There's no boundary between those towns. And so they be a call election. Na BBSC na abompe for ne feel say na we party back we as we ye chinchim ne nsa no. What's not doing us for no? Yeah. Ebuefu. And I feel now they're free from a political party to grow. Sometimes in some of the constituencies where you have two different tribes and all of those things and ethnic groups and all that, then it creates problems. That is why, as a political party, once you set the ground rules, you don't have to be seen to be either changing it or, having different rules for different people. Yeah. And when we do all of these things going forward, as we know, say, because when it comes to the conversation about the party itself, and what we stand for and our track record. And the Juma, sometimes you have to go as far back as President Kufuor and what President Akufo-Addo is doing today. We are convinced that any day when we go into an election, we are favorites to win. But sometimes even a party in government does not lose elections. Yes.
No, so the opposition doesn't win
the election, but the government loses the election by virtue of some of the. I think it will be a travesty for us to allow that to happen. That's why moving so
edema party no. But the other thing is said you can constituency baby ana we constituency executive Yamasaman
Trouble. Yes, a chairman Trouble.
Great. It around the country. Do people know you?
Of
course. Do they resonate with you?
Yes, you see, I'll tell you a funny story. I think about 3-4 weeks ago, I was somewhere in New York standing at a station. And then somebody came up to me, or told Nadia Crow, they say, are you the one that I see on
Metro
TV with Kwesi Fry? And I was surprised, and I could have been doing anything. But apart from that, I have been doing a lot of this thing for a very long time. Some of us, we impair. I can give you an example. You can call Honorable Mustafa Yusuf. Minister for Sports. And ask him if I was in his constituency in 2016. Yagaba Kubori.
Yeah, Yagaba Kubori.
Yes. With the present vice president and a lot more other people. Amenfi, 2012 elections, Let My Vote Count demonstrations, the actual intellectual aspect of communication. You can call Akwesi Ajiman and ask him, Oboshi Sai Kofi, and all of those people. But you see, it has come to the time where we have to basically also come on board and use all the things that we have learned. And then when it comes to communication, I think that for the last 10 years or so, there's probably not one platform on this in this country that I haven't been on espousing the virtues of an MPP at a time when we're in opposition and extolling the virtues of us when we are even in government. So I have done it. And I believe strongly, it got into the point where we have to come to the fore and also ensure, the party is stronger. We are poised for the elections coming 2024 and also inject a new set of thinking into how we run a political party. You see, again, Ghanaians are becoming very sophisticated with the advent of technology and young people and new media and all of those things. And then Akola said last time you were about so be a default and Obedi 18. How are you recruiting that person? How are we shaping the narrative so that that person finds the MPP as a political party as a favorable political party to vote for. It requires organization, but it also requires communicating. It also requires a certain posturing, a certain mindset change in terms of how we even support our various wings. So we have the women's wing, your Nasara wing, you have the youth wing, and the things that they do. For example, TESCON, right? In terms of what we do with TESCON as an organization to be able to ensure, say, we tap into the skill sets and the experiences and the intellectual. I mean, I call them the intellectual muscle of the party. And then also even encourage conversations and debates. You know, and one of the things that a lot of people are even scared to talk about is these so-called factions. Right? And I sit back and I'm thinking, this is the MPP. Why should we be having factions around personalities when we are supposed to be an intellectual party in that parts of the world? When they say factions, it's based on a certain ideological shift. And so let's encourage that even from the TESCON level. Let's debate. Let's have a certain divergence in views on how to prosecute a certain, of course, within the overall framework of what we stand for. And so by the time then they are well versed in what the party stands for and how it is that we are different from the NDC. You understand? You know, you are nurturing young people because TESCON has provided this country with a lot of talent, from the Honorable Senso Boaches to all of those people have gone through TESCON. But we can do more. We can actually make sure that they become a bit more vibrant. Support goes there, the various youth wing, volunteer groups, and all that. So many party, no, abibiano, ya betena beemuna, apemakoso.
Me want two questions. Number one, and it's so we share past national organizers of the NPP. And if my memory serves me right, first national organizer, a current president, another Danko Akufo-Addo. And I think after him, Courage Kwashiga Mobaye, your friend is saying, Lord Kome Mobaye, Mokhtar Bamba Mobaye, John Wedo Femu, and Samia Uku, and I so we should name see Abu Boy now share almost standing in the party at the time and almost contesting. Where do you rank yourself against Sankofu?
Well, I mean, I think that is a determination our party for no Ebeye. Okay. But the reality on the ground is I'm a different person. Okay. I have my own convictions. Okay. But I also believe, say, all these people that you've mentioned, you know, had something that they contributed to the success of this party as we speak. Okay. And as a student of history, you learn from them. And so some of them were successful in terms of winning us power, maintaining power. Others were not so successful. But even in all those things, you know, it all is, I say, boom. Na party, no, and my party, na baby do some pension. Na make an necessity. And you do different dispensation. You need Ghana for and equity in common. Especially even in the face of all these global challenges. And you know, only Ghana for in common. You need some kind of leadership. Sebi, they will show empathy to the Ghanaian people and say, yes, we understand that this is a challenge, the exigencies of the time, all these COVID issues and the global crisis with Ukraine and Russia and a host of other things. But still, we still remain the party that will be able to take us out of these conversations. You need a certain kind of posture. You need a certain kind of orientation to understand and not be someone who wants to be a hero. We're a team effort. And the team, the national executive, all the way to the last polling station executive to understand why it's important. Say, we support the government as we speak today, the President Akufo-Addo government, right? To ensure, say, we have a certain track record to turn things around. We have a certain track record to stand on to go into the election in 2024. But once you're going into that election, a certain new re-energizing the party, even branding is extremely important. How Ghanaians see us, you know, and that would require even some work. You have to go around. Maybe you guys, you do a poll or something, or even commission like a proper research to find out what do they want us to do. And that's why I've never really believed in somebody who wants to be a leader who actually would go ahead of themselves and say, oh, this is what I'll do. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes your prescription, it is not what is required. You need to do a certain doctors. Doctor.
Obey diagnosis.
Obey. No, I trust say, we say when we find out, oh yeah, or feel say, then the answer to our prescribe we do.
Yes.
What do I say?
Yes.
Can you imagine ever going to the doctors who do our say, hey, Obi, where do you No, what do I say? Which means that you're putting the cart before the horse. The reality on the ground is we have a political party that is poised for victory 2024. However, we need to we admit that even if you look at the performance in the last elections, where at a point we had 169 seats, then today we have 137 plus one by dint of an independent candidate that decides to do business with us. And the challenges that everybody has seen, we've even gone through in trying to push government business. What it means is that we need to, unless more seats come 2024 and increase our percentage when it comes to the executive and national elections. But every single thing that we do, both acts of omissions and commission, can contribute to that. You know, I heard people talking about even, but we won the executive elections. It's fair enough, we did. But the reality is that we have 38,000 polling stations. Tiampan say, "Mina me ABB." Na ABR, some percentage of the Ghanaian people are unhappy about it. Ulusi, 2 votes in each single in a single polling station multiplied by 88,000. That's close to what? 80,000.
80,000.
Right. When Professor Mills became president of this country, he won by 40,000 votes. Time you call time, only how many votes are now only by 22,000. Because when it comes to the presidential, it is one constituency. That is why the management of the political party, how we conduct ourselves, the things that we do, how we treat each other. One of the things that I find even interesting is a certain almost obsession with trying to recruit new members. When you have disgruntled members, to say, we're a customer, and as a organization, the best customer to have is the one that complains.
Yeah.
So, they will offer phone after say, na 3 weeks, they're a better customer than the one that doesn't say anything. Because okwa, okwa, on control, on crack. So they make what I say. And so we need to identify all these people and forge a certain united front going into the elections coming 2020. Once we are united as a political party, I mean, there's nothing that we cannot do. Unity. You know, and the unity doesn't come on a silver platter. You don't just talk it, but actions from all the way from the polling station level to the national level. See, at our baby, they say position be our polling station level. Nipa me in a contest here. Bakwe winning, Bakwe losing. What do we do with those people who lost? Right? Constituency level. Will be a incumbent chairman. Say, we Lucy, when your chairman be Papa Fraba. Will be assistant secretary. We Lucy, and Yanade. Sankofoni, almost grassroots. And so the party has to have a strategy to ensure, all those people, regardless of the fact, executives, they have a role to play.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something interesting. I mean, can I say because prime is now, me Lucy. Now
that's for MP.
Yes. Now you see, you constituency campaign team near the Mafia. You're in frame meeting, crowd frame back. So unim danger. The reason being that so what the neighbor can now say who say juma wait for who say juma. What I say next time or the bear
campaign.
But you see, that thinking is wrong. Because everyone is a nipa ako tuaba ofikro so or supporters or conform dinichi until sankofoni nyina no ehia mo ene obi a lose election and nanu yo obu ha is tea party no your constituency chairman and obi an hwehwe no owoma oyenum ne mane ne yenum ne busafo nyina anim ne sacrifice ma ye party na fe pre party for your friend nka until sankofoni nyina Obu are not a patron, Obu are a founding member, Obu are not a former women organizer or a council of elder. Now communities the more that we have to go and find them. The Obu are said we once are in about NDC. And so say I'm finding Kahunti no your free meeting, I am friend, your party event, I am man, any recognition. Into the same structure, even at the National Council, former general secretaries, former chairman, any account. That is what we should be doing. Even at the constituency level, that you have to have an expanded council.
And one of the things you would push.
At the constituency level, Obia, why constituency executive, that be a former patron, former national executive, former founding father, and all of those things, member and all that in the constituency. At least once every quarter, they have to constitute a certain meeting for all of them to come and contribute their quota to the running of the party. Why should that be difficult? It shouldn't be difficult. Because in the final analysis, we are looking at a vision. And that's a certain vision, a vision statement, what the party stands for. And all those people, they are easier for us to convert, right? And get to do things and volunteer and do things for the party at the grassroots level. Obi wa ha no onye executive. And to say about Twaba, onuna a friend is saying, on radio ma polling agent. Ubu an if you a meeting. Obi wa ha you could Twaba no classroom or de Kaniaba, ye kind. Unimza. Sanko for the book, no. The contribution to the constituency is more than Obi Twaba. So all these people have to be identified. Omuna sometimes what do I say? Call Bill Can and a car. Sabi baby or call Bill Ha, no car in Potemo. Sabi, Yamin for some will be free Mukron, and you can't cry a fan of the call Fenese, Motri. Not Yatua baby, Nafe, a bar beam, Nafe as a Sandy Pano, on whom they echo. What I say, Nina requires research. And to make our communications officer, no research officer, and so who was our executive. Arm of the government of the party at the constituency level. They can identify all those people. To see how to assign technology into creating a database of party members. Will be a party baby I see who it's me kind. Nanu ya to police station elections. Baby bia who say BBSC ho bia and I just say people were not sure say be away a member and I say and we have this thing that we say so a crabby because it be a who MPP near you MPP for. Say Ebia Okoda and Arjuno, as is an Adrian. What I say? So you have to have a system to ensure that this is a committed member of your party. Since you are abe for so say a bit me up kwanya, say me na me MPP near over me we are post office number 1. I won't pay. What I say? No, you identify will be entity. Kwako to a baby ma. Now wait to me, where coming, and I wake up home. All these, some of the things, if you can exaggeration, but because they be big a crabby, I didn't see, I will be into no. Your man say, a babyana, so I don't know, Eden, air cost war. And these are some of the things that I believe say, bit me, yeah, about my partner, Ejina. Of course, you can't have this conversation without even your members of parliament. Party, say, you are Bema. You will send a treaty of members of parliament. Your oppositioner. You will send a treaty of members of parliament. Your oppositioners are members of parliament. Omona, your titi or musika and your different party. What do I say? Into people who are now a former MP. We have to start having these conversations. But not a former MP with the MP 2 times, 3 times. There's no system within this political party to recognize those people.
And to check up on them. Exactly.
Welfare. Do you know why the church and Islam is very successful? Prayers before, you say Wednesday you call Bible study, Friday you call Bible, Friday say woman you call Sempatre, Kosiada you call sorry. And there's always consistent. You understand? Meetings. And with the meetings and the people are interacting and all of those things. Even at that level, if you're able to do that, we will not lose even one member because they feel that they are part of, even though they are not more members of parliament, they are important persons. Because you see, mostly the suddenly say once there has been a contest, say yato aba and as nipa mienu a contest your own. Not just as you see, they are enemies, sworn enemies forever. But the party has to have some reconciliation, a mechanism in place to ensure that we are bringing all these people. Yes. Right? Can you imagine a picture of seeing a former MP standing on a podium with the current one, galvanizing? Say, me krumpo ni amuntu abama. So, sometimes if you want to shut or the crap of the waiting me fifia to aba because of MPP didn't but the chrome for no won't say na omadrin mutanta. So these are some of the basic. It doesn't take rocket science to do some of these things.
Many Eric Twum and a studio Eric Air Press MPP for Twabamano as the next national organizer for the party. Munim say in July, party na air national conference to elect new national executives. Already, no matter polling station to electoral area to constituency. There are a few constituencies still to go though. And as you see, our focus now on the region. The end of this month. Now we are in the month of July. No, matter national elections. No, member saying Bebusa Eric about all the elections are cost from polling station to constituency. Say, steady result because to be able to win a national position, no, I was saying interest in the cost was here. Results ne cause saying and finally, no, a thing or two about the current organization of the party officer eba besisem. Ni na yen komo meba ameyedi ansa na wrap up. But Eugene Shen Elliott or ye constituency secretary ma NDC or Clotte Corley or si Obi. Ordinarily, this is none of my business, but Eric is a sharp guy. From our corporate days at Nestle, Nestle?
Yes.
And at PZ, okay, where I worked with him, he has always presented himself as a strong problem solver and a team player. He would be an asset to the NPP party. It is just unfortunate that he would be part of the team to send the elephant back into opposition because election 2024 is already done and dusted with JDM as the winner.
That's not true. Thanks for the compliment. That's not true.
I'll be back and then my final two questions. Eric, Nafi, Rapia.